Tonight, let's talk some politics on PM Express. As you know, the NPP, the Governing New Patriotic Party, they have dismissed 4 of their own stalwarts of the party. But we must ask the question, are they the last of the Alan remnants? Are there possibly still some within the party who haven't done anything overtly to earn a dismissal? That's a conversation we'll have. And this is where a party will be very mindful, because it's the enemy within that sometimes can prove more deadly than anything else going into an election. What will the party do to find others? Well, one of them, as you know, who has been dismissed from the party, automatically lost his membership of the party, is Yao Babian-Sama, who is a former member of parliament for Adentan constituency. That's my constituency. And he has been dismissed. And he was a member of parliament on the ticket of the NPP. He actually also was the director of communications for the party. So he held a position at the party level. He was also a member of parliament, and yet he's gone. Why? Because he was seen openly campaigning for Alan Kyerematen. And Alan, of course, has left the party. And the party's constitution, according to the party themselves, says when you do that, you automatically forfeit your membership. He's not alone, though. He's gone also with Sadiq Boniface Abubakar. And that's an interesting one, because he used to be a minister in this particular administration. He was a Zongo minister. And so he held a senior position. He was a former member of parliament also. But he was also dismissed. And then you have Hobson Adoye, also a former parliamentary candidate for Katamanso, and he also gone, a staunch supporter of Alan Kyerematen. And then I need to see this properly on the screen, because Nana Ohiningto is the one you see there. We need to see him in the screen, by the way, because it's important, because he's the deputy general secretary of the party. He used to be a former general secretary of the party, who obviously supported Alan, and Alan then leaves the party and he decides, I'm going to stay with him. So he stayed with him. And the consequence of that is that he has to leave the party. When we spoke to him, he was clear that he knows what the party constitution says, and that what the party had done is what the party it was supposed to do. The general secretary, a position he used to hold, has done his job. So no qualms there. Now, so what's the basis for the decision, right? The party says if you publicly endorse a candidate of another person, and then they elect a candidate of the NPP, you have to leave, and that it's a breach of the party's constitution. But also, if you do so, you automatically forfeit your membership. And the party was clear in citing this particular clause of the party's constitution, which says you must abide by the decisions taken by the party. One of the decisions taken by the party is to elect a flag bearer who is the current vice president. If we did so as a party, the constitution says you must support who that person is, not any other person. And then they go to the specifics of the party's constitution, Article 391, which is clear that if you're seen backing or campaigning or supporting another candidate other than the party's own candidate, it is automatic. And that is why the party explains that there wasn't any conversation around meeting them. There was the committee set up to give them a hearing. They were simply let go, right? As a party's position on the matter. But you know that there were others who also supported Alan, but they decided to switch allegiance. Their loyalty switched quickly when Alan decided to go back to the party. David Sopoku is one of them. Also, the deputy finance minister was also one of them. Quickly issued a statement that says, well, my allegiance is with this particular government. It's to the party and it's to Dr. Bawumia. So she's staying, obviously. You also have the case of Catherine Afeku, who also clearly stated her position on the matter. She wants to give a talent to the cause of the current vice president, Dr. Bawumia, and so that's what she decided to do there. And then you have others that in the past have been deemed by the party to have done similar, like the 4 who have been dismissed, like Paula Foko, the national chairman who was dismissed before, as you know, Sami Crab also. So the party takes a very dim view of people who act in ways that they believe infringes on the party's chances in an election. But the fundamental question we're asking tonight is, are they the last of them? Because we know that there are other members of the party, some current ministers, who were also very vociferous in the support of Alan Chemanting, they haven't gone public to say that they remain loyal to the NPP. What's the party going to do about those? But these are high-profile names. What about the ordinary card-bearing members of the party who still support Alan Chemanting, who still hold party membership cards, and in the party? How radical would the party be in fishing them out? Would they even dare that? Stay with me after the break.
Before Ogun, the god of iron, I stand on oath.
It is the biggest play in the history of African theatre.
Is it not ignorance that makes the rats attack the cats?
This December,
There are kings, and there are kings.
Image Bureau, in partnership with April Communications and the National Theatre, presents
Odewale, king, son of Ogundele.
Olarotumi's theatrical masterpiece, The Gods Are Not to Blame, goes live Saturday 2nd and Sunday 3rd December at the National Theatre. On stage, David Donto, Mauli Semevo, Fred Amugi, Andrew Tando Adote, Na Ashoko, and a lot more. Tickets are selling now for only 150 cedis at Nalem stores, Airport Shell, Starbites, Pinkberry, and Frankie's Osu. Go digital at www.imagebureaugh.com or dial star 711 star 11 star 25 hash. Supported by Niplan's Car Rentals, Ghana Tourism Authority, IPMC, our media partners, and proudly brought to you by Ebony Condoms and Stanbic Bank.
Because all lizards' life frustrates. How can one tell which lizard suffers from bellyache?
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see SINTEX. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntex again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntex gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntex is the answer. Syntex tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Smooth, refreshing, and made with real apples. Hunter's Refreshing Apple Cider. Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 or recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA.
Prepare for an exhilarating experience at the main fair of the 2023 EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center from Thursday, November 23rd to Sunday, November 26th, 2023. Doors will be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day to welcome you. This year, we are diving into the theme of home ownership, exploring the nuances between affordability, comfort, and luxury. Whether you're embarking on your home ownership journey or looking for upgrades, this fair is your destination. For all things housing, encounter a comprehensive assembly of stakeholders from Ghana's housing and construction sectors. Engage the experts across the spectrum of home creation and enhancement. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats. Rent to own. And sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Constructions Limited, where quality meets value. Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting. Syntex Tank, Air Strong, Air Tough. Springfield Estates, where dreams are built. Virtual Security, complete security solution. DBS, your roof experts. Virtual InfoSec Africa, security solutions by design.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home. Saint Gobain Weber, Gyproc, Proroc, Placo, Isover. Making the world a better home.
Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investments. The Kissington Heights, Airport City, Kumasi, by HDG Homes Limited.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get.
Every day, people have money emergencies.
I need my school fees.
Emergency.
Mommy, chop
money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes to one.
That's who goal is for. I got 5 Champions League. You want to know? I be the real goal. Chairman. I'm the real goal. The left magician.
Who is the GOAT? Ghana Jollof or Nigeria Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shift. You two they lie. Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Hey, you are lying. Ghana Jollof.
Are you here? Forget everybody. Yeah.
My guy. Put some respect on the goat. Oh, the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama.
Every year we dey give to you back to back.
We are talking about PET. I want to hear the face.
Except be the goat, huh?
My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 and recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
So cool, so clean. My newfound love and buddy, Aquadot Natural Mineral Water, made under strictly hygienic conditions with modern technology to ensure your quality. With Aquadot Natural Mineral Water, your safety is at heart. For bulk purchase, call 0257205656 or 0559765777. You can also visit us at Hacho Econop Accra or Lannoy Limited, Hatcher Rabbits, Aquadot Natural Mineral Water, Obenom and Numbium. This advert is FDA approved.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see SINTEX. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntex again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntex gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntex is the answer. Syntex tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Before Ogun, the god of iron, I stand on oath.
It's the biggest play in the history of African theater.
Is it not ignorance that makes the rats attack the cats?
This December,
there are kings and there are kings.
Image Bureau, in partnershp with April Communications and the National Theatre, presents
Odewale, King, son of Ogundele.
Olarotumi's theatrical masterpiece, The Gods Are Not to Blame, goes live Saturday 2nd and Sunday 3rd December at the National Theatre. On stage, David Donto, Mauli Semevo, Fred Amugi, Andrew Tando Adote, Na Ashoko, and a lot more. Tickets are selling now for only 150 cedis at Nalem stores, Airport Shell, Starbites, Pinkberry, and Frankie's Osu. Go digital at www.imageprogh.com or dial *711*11*25#. Supported by New Plans Car Rentals, Ghana Tourism Authority, IPMC, our media partners, and proudly brought to you by Ebony Condoms and Stanbic Bank.
Because all lizards' life frustrates. How can one tell which lizard suffers from bellyache?
My guest in the studio, Yababia Samoa, is the former Member of Parliament for the Adentan constituency. Also joining me in the studio is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, the governing New Patriotic Party. He is Haruna Mohammed. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you, Ivan.
Here on PMS. So joining me right now via Zoom is Dr. Asasante, and he joins us now. He is a senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. Thank you all for joining me here on PM Express. I want to quickly start with you, Yababia Samoa. So it's been a few days now since you were dismissed from the party. Having any second thoughts about the choices that led to that decision? Because you've had time to reflect a bit.
Time to reflect since when?
Oh, well, it's been, 2 days since we had the announcement?
I have been member of the Butterfly Movement since the 25th September. So technically, I've been out of the party since then. So it's not a matter of reflecting the past 2 days. It's just a question of whether or not it was necessary for the party to publish that letter. All affected are senior members of, former senior members of the party, who are perfectly aware of how this party is positioned when it comes to matters like this. So, party hasn't dismissed us. We have moved on by our own
You dismissed
actions.
yourself?
Moved on by our own actions. They use a big word, forfeiture. Yes.
Which is a word they lifted from the Constitution.
Well, so if we go back and break forfeiture down, then maybe we can use dismissal. And we dismissed ourselves. And that was months ago, a couple of months ago. So,
and you put that around the time that Alan made the switch, broke away.
Yes. We were a concrete part of that switch. We were essential to thinking it through and all that. So we knew exactly what we were doing. So there's nothing about being surprised or being sacked or otherwise. You're part of the movement.
You were a former member of Parliament, and of course you were my MP. You represented me in Adentan constituency on the ticket of the NPP. Yeah. You then became the Director of Communications of the party. Of course, you lost your elections, and so that's why you are no longer an MP. The question is, considering the background, considering how significant a player you were in the team NPP, is this worth?
At Strayer University, we see you striving to work harder and go further. That's why we provide you with the tools you need to get there, like offering a brand new laptop when you enroll in a bachelor's program. So you can do your coursework anytime, anywhere, and always keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. Eligibility rules, restrictions, and exclusions apply. Connect with us for details. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev and has many campuses, including at 2121 15th Street North in Arlington, Virginia.
Ya llegó nuestro mejor Black Friday y tenemos miles de ofertas toda la semana, como hasta 75% de descuento en joyería fina después del 40% de descuento extra. Y da un paso adelante con botas para ella a solo $19.99. Además, encuentra toallas Home Expressions a solo $2.99 cada una. JCPenney, celebraciones que valen la pena. Ofertas válidas hasta el 26 de noviembre en la tienda en selección de estilos. Aplican exclusiones. Ofertas de Black Friday se excluyen de los cupones. Detalles en la tienda con un asociado.
Sí. Absolutely. The ultimate is to serve to the best of your ability. We are in politics to serve. And we are in a group in the belief and the hope that we share the same purposes with that group towards that kind of service. And so for me, the ultimate is that I'm positioned in a way that in principle, true to my beliefs, I think it's the best way to serve the people I've always served. I as far as I'm concerned, and hopefully I believe I speak for my colleagues, we had gotten to the point where that kind of service, that quality of service we wanted to offer the public could not be delivered through our continued association of the NPP or the processes in the NPP that give you that space. Simply the spaces had closed up. And therefore, if we needed to continue, if service would remain worthwhile, if we wanted to believe and continue believing, then we needed an outlet to let that belief serve the people. So we know what we're doing.
So, as they say, if you really want to be realistic in terms of service,
yes,
you were really in the thick of it as an MP.
Yes.
That vehicle that delivered that for you was the MPP.
Yes.
I put it to you that a vehicle led by Alan, in the context of our political climate and history,
yes,
does not deliver, at least if you choose, say, to go back to represent your people, does not deliver you representation of the people of Adenta.
What are you talking about, Evans? I don't want to represent the people of Adenta in that context. I have already declared that I'm not running for parliament, so it's a speculative situation. It is speculative.
So when you say service,
Alan is not running a political party, including parliamentary candidates. I have not run, or I haven't decided to run.
So when you say service, you define it as?
Service as in enabling the people to get access to the best quality leadership possible. I'm a leader. People believe in me. People trust me. I've worked hard and I've tried to lead to the best of my ability. I also signal in that context. I signal. So that signaling is what I'm talking about. And that the signal, I believe, is that at this time, you mentioned history. Ghana's history is evolving very fast. Ghana's political history is evolving faster than the parties are realizing. And at this time, I believe that Ghanaians deserve a certain kind of leadership, and that Ghanaians are more ready for that kind of leadership than we, the parties, realize. And that Ghanaians will go for that leadership if given the choice. So Alan stepping out of the NPP and taking on the movement, it's not about the movement. The movement is just a backup, it's a vehicle for him. It's about Alan being given to the people of Ghana as a choice, as an alternative on the ballot paper. Otherwise, if he stays in the NPP, he doesn't get that opportunity. That's the closed space I'm talking about.
But he gets the opportunity when he stands as an independent candidate?
Yes. Yes.
An opportunity to be president?
Be on the ballot. Once he's on the ballot, I don't doubt he'll be president. That's why I'm saying that the Ghanaian voter has evolved.
But
I am confident that when that ballot paper is put out, 7th December 2024, with Alan's effigy, Alan's face on that paper, many voters, majority of voters will be attracted to that face.
And now that you've defined your service, I return to the original question, which is, you stood a better chance if the people indeed were your primary objective, signaling to them and serving them through a leader, you stood a better chance getting that to happen through the NPP, because history says, in this country, in the Fourth Republic at least, only those two parties, one of them, will win in 2024
How could I have stood that better chance? Alan wasn't going to win it. How could I have stood that better chance?
Yes.
Alan is the one I believe can do the job. Alan is the one I think Ghanaians expect to do the job. And the spaces are closed for Alan. In that situation, how would I have stood a better chance of service if Alan was going to be closed out of the process? I don't believe in what they've done. I don't believe in what they have done. I don't think it will succeed. I don't believe the leader they have chosen to choose because they've been compelled to choose. I don't believe that leader cuts it. I don't believe he can deliver it.
A few more elections.
Politics is not an event.
Okay.
All those 8 elections have not been the same in character. You will have to examine the beginnings of these elections. Are you telling me the first election in 1992 is of the same character as the one we held in 2000 or the one we held in 2012?
So you're saying that you haven't killed your political career by jumping on this horse?
Where is my political career? The value of my political career is that I serve people. And that service is a duty to me that I present the best foot forward.
Regardless of the obvious outcome that the history says will play out in 2024.
If you insist on sticking with history, how can I argue with you?
Stay with me.
You're sticking to history.
Stay with me. You believe the future. History may be altered in 2024.
I'm talking the future, you are talking history, and I'm saying that history evolves. A lot of people don't realize that in 2012, 2013, electoral politics changed forever in this country. The 8-month electoral presidential petition, which was televised day to day. Many Ghanaians who had the opportunity to watch and listen formed very important opinions. They realized the value of their thumb. They realized that they couldn't just be led, but they had to evaluate the leading in order to advise themselves. They realized that the true power of the electoral process lay with them. After 2012, by 2016, things had changed. Look at the margin by which an incumbent lost. Who would have thought a sitting African president would lose an election by 1 million votes? That was a one-off, wasn't it? And that was historical, wasn't it? So how did that happen? So the same setup, which won by over 1 million votes, with 169 majority in parliament, within 4 years, loses its majority and half the 1 million votes, and then goes ahead to elect an opposition speaker. And don't tell me it was by default. It's happened. The beauty is that our democracy and essentially our constitution is so resilient that we are able to live with it. And we are working forward, and we are still in the process and believing that things will happen.
And the beauty of this is that you sit close by, next to the Deputy General Secretary of your party. And I say he's beautiful because, yes, you've left them, and I saw the body language between the two. It's still very cordial. And I just wanted to bring that up.
But why should
No, it's important. Because people think that because you've left, there must be somebody more. And I just wanted to give the background before I come to
I mentored him.
Well, that's my point exactly. That people don't have that
So
context.
why should I?
No. But that's the nature of our politics. And I guess we're moving to a point where
so you see that politics is changing and you don't realize.
We disagree, but at least we still have to have a conversation. So let's have that conversation. He's mentioned at the beginning in passing that he didn't see the need for you to issue that statement because it's automatic. They forfeited it already, and they knew the decision they took and its consequences at the time when they decided to still stay with Alan.
Thank you very much, Evans. I first will say good evening to your cherished viewers, yourself and my former boss.
I like that.
I was Deputy Director of Communications when he was Director of Communication. It's very unfortunate that we have to get to this stage. I thought that we would have to stay to enjoy the fruit of our labor, but my boss decided to take a French leave. Yes.
Have you spoken to him since? Have you spoken to him since?
I did. Okay. I did.
What did you tell him? He's here, so you're not saying anything. He's here, so I mean, I'm just curious. When you had
met on TV,
yeah,
him on the other side,
yeah,
on the other side of we've met.
Okay, that's the first time on my show, so I'm just curious.
Yes.
I mean, because you worked so close, you were his deputy. When you heard that he's gone, what was the conversation about? Were you surprised? Did you try to convince him to come back or to stay?
In fact, even before he went, I can't remember, we spoke.
With intention to get him...
the incident.
Yes.
Yes, so he told me, Haruna, this is unfortunate. I can't make it. I'm taking a new decision. I was very close to him. Very, very close to him when he was Director of Communication. He treated me very well as a deputy. So, and he trusted me. He spoke to me directly. But it's very unfortunate we are where we are today. And today, he has left us. And Evans, I want to make this point very clear. In fact, he's right. We have not dismissed them. We have not also expelled them from the party. The party, what we did was to reinforce the provisions of the Constitution. And in doing so, we wrote to the media in the form of a release to inform the general public the stance per their actions. So indeed, this release by the party was to reinforce Article 391 of the party's constitution. However, we made references to Article 35A4, where we said that each and every member of the party should abide by and publicly uphold the decision of the party.
And in this case, the decision to...
The decision, yes. The decision was made, yes, when His Excellency, the Vice President, was elected on the 4th of November. So that decision ought to have been upheld by every member of the party. So following public commentary and observations from the media and other platforms, the party thought it wise to reinforce that position of the party and issued a release that has provoked this discussion. And in fact, I am very happy that in their response to the release of the party, they actually admitted that the party did no wrong and they have not regretted for the decision they have taken, because they are adults and they have the rights per the Constitution of the Republic to belong to any side.
I mean, in many words, Yabama Sama says, I took the decision, I'm ready to live by the consequences.
And the same thing that
for better or for worse.
Said. But for us, we can only wish them well. But the party needs to reinforce the provisions of the party.
I need to ask you, Yao. So, before Alan left, there were many stalwarts of the party, not only the four of you who have now been dismissed, who backed him. Okay. To be honest and sincere with me, are there more of you still left behind in the NPP who may not be publicly as overt as you've been in supporting him, but in there in the party, so holding onto party cards, but support him with their wholeheartedly?
Hundreds of thousands. The NPP is structured across several fields. You have the core leadership, which is the group of which Haruna is a member, as Deputy General Secretary, Chairman, and the National Council and all that. Then you have the regional executive. Then you come down to constituency level. You have the constituency executive. Then you have the polling station executive. And these are the elected officers, and some appointed, who are the officer class. And that officer class may be about 220 maximum. Okay? Then you have card-bearing members who have paid up and taken a card. As I said here, I can't count them. But perhaps they may be up to 500,000 or give or take another 500,000, say 1 million. You have 1 million. But in the last election, over 6 million people voted for the NPP. So you have another 5 or 4.5 million who are sympathizers. So when you say the NPP, you are looking across these spectrum.
But my question relates to those who are actually card-bearing members, maybe even polling station agents of the party who are still there.
There are in the tens of thousands polling stations.
And they believe in the Alan cause.
Yes.
Executives.
And in the tens of thousands, executives who at the right time will show up. And there are literally millions of the adherent group as well, the sympathizers who believe that Alan is the right guy to fit the job description that we are looking for the presidency in 2024.
For these executives, you know them?
And I'm saying that it will show up as we go along. One of the signaling effects of having a letter published, if General Secretary will admit it, Deputy General Secretary will admit it, is to try and create the impression. The question you're asking goes to reinforce that, whether or not you can scrape out people who are supposed to support Alan, and then the party is sanitized, it's clean. There's nobody in there who is Alan anymore. I mean, that's what you're asking for. But if that letter was meant to stop people being Alan, it has rather generated a lot more steam at local level. There are many.
If that's the case, why don't they come forward, leave the party, and just cross carpet also?
Are we there yet? There's so much time.
But if you don't believe in something, why do you stay in it and still hold an executive position?
Are we there yet? There's so much time. We are just how many months away? You even thought that we had left just 2 days ago, right? And I am telling you that we left on the 25th of September.
So when are they waiting to leave?
So in the coming days, in the coming weeks, you will see what will happen.
That's a question to you. He clearly is telling you that there are still remnants of the Alan loyalists in executive positions in your party. So hold on to that position and ready to support him. Is the party looking for them?
I think this is something that cannot be proven. This is something that is they're looking out for, but I don't think it can be proven. It's something that cannot be made emphatic that we know Mr. A or B or so. And for the point, our letter was not to warn people or to tell people that it was to send a signal that the party has laws. And much as we need people, we also need discipline. And what should follow off is the right of the constitution of the New Patriotic Party. So no matter what, or no matter the membership, or whoever it is, the party's constitution must work. So if it is established that an elected officer of the party at the local level, or at the regional level, or at the national level, is found to go against the provisions of the party's constitution, and either it hinges on resignation, which is clearly defined, or it is on expulsion or suspension or forfeiture, those persons are well aware of the
question
fact.
you should be asking is how many people they are prepared to
Oh no, but this is not for General Secretary to be issuing those letters. Yeah. This is to reinforce and to remind the public.
But more importantly, what you're saying will only be true if the people act overtly, right? I mean, Baba Sama was campaigning for him. I mean, so that is obvious.
And he has he made it very clear that he ceases to be a member.
But what we are talking about are executives who haven't played their hand, but they are within your ranks. And they don't believe in the cause of your leader, they believe in the cause of another leader. That's the question I'm asking.
How would he be able to know that?
But that's my point. You're a political party going into a campaign, 2024 election. Shouldn't you be concerned about finding that out? Establishing if indeed there are still many people like that in your ranks?
That is why we have different structures. We have different structures. We have the polling station, we have the electoral area, we have the constituency, we have regional. All these structures are working. And when these things are found, the party will be able to take decisions on them. But not to say that we are going to be issuing letters to the people.
No, but you're almost suggesting that your structures will fish them out by themselves.
The structures will identify such situations.
By itself?
Yes. because the structures are working.
But there's not going to be any active search for these individuals.
Oh, no. That's why we have structures. So the structures are there. And that is why when you go into a quality management system, you have quality assurance, we have quality management, so all these things are being checked at every stage.
Your structure?
Oh, that is the best structure.
To expose these individuals?
The structure is very perfect. The polling station to the grassroots, the electoral area that superintend over these polling stations, constituency that looks at both polling stations and electoral area, region that looks at constituency and what have you, national superintend over this. So the structures are actually working, and we believe in the structures. So the structures will be able to fish out.
Okay, so the structure you believe will fish them out.
The structure will be able to...
In time for you to clean your ranks?
The structure will be able to identify some of these things. The structure will be able to identify some of these things. Some of them either will be able to work on them. Some of them that will not be able to work on them. The structure will proffer solutions to that. So it is not about us looking for them. It is about us ensuring that that atmosphere of making sure that we have set for ourselves to break the 8 is achievable, and the structures will work through to ensure that that history is made.
Yeah, and I'll bring in the prof.
The butterfly movement, the movement for change, is not dependent only on Alan's previous support in the NPP, which is alive and getting even stronger with him out. It also depends
within the NPP.
It also depends on some in the NDC who don't believe in their leadership. It depends on third time, second time, first time voters who haven't had value for voting so far and who believe that they deserve something different. So you like polling. You always start with the polls and your analysis. Have you noticed that the undecided and they don't know...
At least the 2 polls before the NPP's primary
showed... The columns are getting larger and larger. I think those people don't really know what they want. What they are telling you is that we don't see our choice. So the essence of Alan Kyerematen is that he offers choice at that high level, at the presidential level. So we are saying that on the 7th December 2024, you enter a polling booth, and it's very likely, in fact, it's certain, that you will see former President John Mahama, you will see His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, perhaps Ayaga will win his conference if he holds one. You see him. It's most likely you see Kofi Akpaloo of the LPG as well. And you will see Alan Kyerematen as an independent. And we are saying, and I'm not excluding anybody else, there's a PNC, there's a CPP, all the others who will go to Congress and bring people forward. I'm saying that ballot paper that you will see Alan on, Alan will stand out.
Okay.
Alan will shine. For that group who are telling you now that they don't have enough of a choice.
I'll come to you to respond to that substantive point. Give me a second. I'll come to you to respond to that substantive, but definitely. Let me bring in Professor Asah-Asante. Prof, so now we have a fair understanding, at least from what Yabomia Samoa says and what the Deputy General Secretary says, that he's aware that we still have remnants in the NPP, some of them executives, card-bearing members of the party, who believe in the Alan cause. The Deputy General Secretary has talked about how the structures will fish them out. What's your take on that? Is that a threat that the NPP should take seriously?
Oh, strictly speaking, I don't know how they are going to fish them out. Yes. For tactical reasons, some of these people who are there and still believe in Alan will not talk. They will be there, but they will have their hearts and minds with Alan. The reason why they are in that party is that they support the man Alan, but that they believe in what? The party systems. So they want to be there. There are those people. There are people who obviously will come out as Mr. Abuabing Hasamwa is saying, with time, they will come and tell you that, yes, we are going out finally to join our man. And that's it. There are those who also have not decided yet as to what to do. So it's a mix of factors that's going to play out during the time. But I am struggling to find out how the party will fish them out. Those people who do not want to be seen, I can tell you without fear of contradiction that it doesn't matter the strategy they use, they cannot fish them out. They will be in there. If there's any damage, they will cause within the party. That is a fact.
Do you anticipate that could be a damaging factor for the NPP risking sabotage going into such a major elections?
Oh, obviously, if that's what they are going to do, it's going to have an influence on voter choices and all that. That is a fact. But it depends upon how the NPP is able to position itself in terms of strategy, in terms of message, and how they go about the whole thing, right? If they want to spend more energy on Alan, I'm afraid they will not be able to do much. Remember that they have a lot of work to do in terms of what to defend and all that. They have a lot of work. Look.
Oh, we having a challenge with this audio there. We lost you with the audio. Hello, Dr. Asante. I can hear you now. Please proceed. Oh, unfortunately, we will try and fix that. Unfortunately, something happens with his audio that we can hear him all of a sudden. Yes, let me take a quick reaction to the point he was making about the choice will be made by the people in the middle.
I think
that choice will invariably be that of Alan.
I think that for the choice that is going to be made, it's going to obviously be the very innovative and energetic gentleman, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. He has a proven record as vice president, how he has been able to assist His Excellency the President, and the kind of strategy and additions that he has brought on board. If you look at all the candidates, for example, in short, what he has put through, and you try to scale them, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is ahead of all of them. You look at John Mahama, you look at Kojo Alan Chermantin, you look at Hassan Ayarga, as compared to His Excellency the Vice President, he stands tall. He stands tall because he has obvious things in terms of governance that he can point to, that when given opportunity to insist, he will be able to provide a better solution to most of those particular problems. So for me, it is always good to try. And for people to put themselves up for elections, it means that you've seen a certain gap that you are going to fill. But I obviously don't see the gap that Mr. Alan is going to fill in our Ghanaian politics. And if you look at these particular contests,
the gap will be those disenchanted, disillusioned with the status quo.
But
and unfortunately, the NPP and the NDC are part of the status quo.
No political party has ever won power with its core supporters. No political party.
But he said that's their strength.
Yes, we have. But the point is that
the floating voter who has to decide.
It takes a longer time to measure those ones. This is a very short period. We are going into the election. And if you study research very well and look at the process in terms of input, in terms of process, in terms of output, and then you are going to measure the outcomes and the impact, it's definitely not going to be now. Because those factors that he's looking at, those who are disillusioned, those persons who are not satisfied, it is something that you have to put in a basket, assess them, to be able to have a scientific resource that can stand the test of time. But as at now, anybody that is going to rely on them will definitely be doing firefighting. Because these political parties, these two major political parties, has a way to hold on to their supporters and to be able to move on to get the floating voters.
and other persons who are sympathizers, people who are supporting. All these things are going to work
Your
out.
argument is
but
that Alan hasn't got a settled base yet. He's still building that base.
Yes, Alan is going out of a certain sentiment. One, because he felt bitter of the contest.
Oh, no.
And two, he felt that the process that he accused, which is incontestable because the constitution of the party is clear on those particular matters. So obviously, perhaps his analysis was not showing victory, but he still believed that he can stand on the ticket on himself. And that is why the Constitution of the Republic has provided. And so that he has been able to move on to create that. And we are going to move into that contest. And in going into that particular contest, and I can assure you that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the best candidate.
Dr. Sasante is on. I mean, we lost him, so I want to bring him back on. We lost you. Your audio went off. You were making a substantive point.
I'm saying that MPP's focus should not be on Alan because they have a real task ahead. Look at all the talk that Dr. Bawumia has said relative to economic fortunes of this country and where we are now. It's going to be a tough battle for him. How is he going to convince Ghanaians that he has what it takes to turn things around and lead this country? It's going to be a tall order, I'm afraid to say that.
But shouldn't they at least spend some time purging his ranks of people who may be disloyal to the current leader of the party and still believe in the cause of Alan?
How long do you want to stay on that when you need to be able to fix the economy? When people are crying for infrastructure, every day people are talking about what infrastructure development, road network, and what have you. People are still accusing the government of what? Corruption and the rest of them. Unemployment figures are staggering. And you are still what? Doing internal cleanups. And when are you going to stop and begin serious business as to how you're going to organize your campaign? It's going to be a difficult one, I must say. The earlier they stop these emphasis on Alan, the better it will be for them. Yes, whatever role Alan wants to play in wherever he finds himself, yes, it's left to him. But they must be able to organize themselves in such a manner that they will be able to win back the confidence of the people, which that confidence had been eroded in a way by events of the time. So they need to get back those people and see whether they can make what headway in the next election. It's going to be a difficult.
Let me ask you. So, Alan Chomante, is he a monumental waste of time for, say, Bawumia Samoa and Co. to follow him, considering what the history says? I've asked him this question many times. He says, "Well, you're talking about history. I'm talking about the future." But you are the political scientist. This is what you live and breathe. What's your own assessment?
Yeah, my assessment is based on history and is based on electoral system that we have. If you follow the electoral system that we have, this country is naturally a two-party system. All the parties we have had, one way or the other, they give way to the main CPP and the UP tradition. So you realize that a third force is a difficulty. When every country, you check the other jurisdiction, when you have two strong parties, that is a two-party system, you realize that other parties have been dwarfed. It will take a very long time for you to get a third force.
Is that time 2024?
No, it's not. A third force is actually a function of proportional representation. When you have such a system, it produces results such as that. And you can find evidence in Germany, in Israel, in Belgium, and the rest of them. Until you change the electoral system, I'm afraid these two parties will continue to reign supreme. Other parties will continue to be eclipse, and then they will remain as dwarfs. And so movement like Alan, yes, the best they can do is to be able to get some significant votes, add to other existing parties to be able to push election to a second round.
Is that even probable in 2020 to 2024?
That is early days yet. It's early days yet, but that is the best that they can do. Because if you look at the statistics, you realize that we did some work from 1992 up to 2020. All political parties put together in terms of their average performance, they've not gone beyond 4%. So if you're talking about an individual who is going to come in and cross the thresholds of 50% and beyond, I'm afraid that is not what Mr. Alan Kyerematen is working for. He himself, he knows that it won't work. What he knows that he can be a kingmaker by pushing the election to a second round, where all those who are launching attack against him and all that, that he is not a candidate for this election and all that, they will go to him on their knees and all that. That is all that he is fighting for. But for winning, he knows that it will not work. Mr. Boaping is too clear about this.
You're wasting your time.
I'm not wasting my time. Analysis, all well and good, but actual events will bear us out. This is Ghana. It's a very interesting country. We are producing new things all the time. And already you can sense the tension between whether it's the NPP or the candidate, which one is driving which. When you hear the Deputy General Secretary, then you hear about systems and about personality. You will have to find out what the Ghanaian is looking for. Because, frankly, two-party system, yes, but have these two parties served us to the point where the electorate is satisfied? The level of apathy out there, the disgust with and frustration with the inability of these two parties who have been revolving to deliver anything new. Already they've started the tit-for-tat politics. I'll cancel this, I'll cancel that. The criminalization of each other's policies. People want to move beyond that. And just like they've tested the hung parliament, I'm telling you that in 2024, the fact that they vote an independent president doesn't mean they've gotten rid of the party.
Let me ask you a few.
The fact that they
let me ask you two quick fire questions before I get in, because I have 1 minute
they've gotten
to go.
rid of the parties.
Are you certain that your decision is based on a conviction in the true ideals that Alan Kyerematen stands for, or is because, as some have suggested, the party just didn't treat you the way you expected, and that you were left out to dry in spite of your sacrifices to the party? So there's a certain bitterness that has informed the decision.
Please, I've moved. That kind of argument you shouldn't be making, Evans.
It's a question
It's
I'm asking.
above you.
It's a question I'm asking.
It's above you.
Okay.
It's
it's not that.
It's above you, Evans. I wouldn't even bother to answer that. It's above you. Bitter about what? I've been MP before. Bitter about what? I lost my seat. I've worked for the party. Bitter about what? In the last election, was I post 2020? Have I? What do you call it? Why didn't I quit? Why didn't I quit? I believe strongly that the quality of leadership that we are offering needs to change. I believe that that quality can be found in Alan. I believe that it's a leadership responsibility to be principled about that point. I believe that we cannot hide under the cloak of organized systems like political parties to insist on choicelessness. The political parties are not giving the people of Ghana any choice. And we must give them choice. I strongly believe that. Because if you go through a process that delivers a person who hasn't been brought forth effectively through a fair and just, how do I even put it? You see, then it means that you may not be giving the people what they want.
Okay.
So that leads to apathy. That leads to a withdrawal from the process. So when the people realize that there is a genuine choice, they will look at that choice.
Okay.
And this is Ghana.
Quickly.
This is Ghana.
Give me your final quick thoughts.
Evans, I want to tell the
Dr. Sasante.
Yes, that we are not focusing on Alan. Not at all. We don't have any focus on him. We are only reinforcing the party's position and constitution. So there is no any focus at all. Our focus is on the ball. And that is why we have elected a gentleman in the person of Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. I disagree with my former boss here that the elections were not fair.
You made that point at the beginning.
Yes,
Yeah,
no, but he just repeated it. So
each time he repeats it, you have to rebut.
that has been the fairest election that we have had. Nobody was denied. Alan picked a form. He went through the process. He saw he was not winning. He decided to step down.
Okay.
He came out to resign publicly. And we have moved on.
Thank you very much.
That's what
Thank you very much. And the beauty of this is you agree. Shaky hands.
Oh, that's my boss. That's my boss.
That's my for the it's important. We are going into an election where people would. I say that.
I am not fighting him. I've enjoyed sitting with him.
I'm going to shake your hands.
Yes.
So why don't you want to shake it?
The way you are putting it is as if you are
we are not fighting.
Where there is no war.
You are
broken a peace where there is no war.
Well, we are not fighting. know you're not.
Yes.
But you have to show that you are.
The public knows we are
when you
not.
have NDC and people come here,
The
ask them
public
to do
knows we are
same.
not.
We're going to be doing that going to elections.
The public knows we are
Don't
not.
be surprised.
Because you guys, you joke behind the scenes, and then
The
when you come
public
out, it's
knows
like
we are not.
that's very important. Trust me, I think you people think that we fight.
No, we don't fight.
Okay, great. Anyway, that's PMS. Best Syntax Thanks is always a one to go. A little bit is also. Oh, they did finally.
No. Because we are off air.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.